crafters, I wanted to quickly jump on here today and show a really cool little hack that I discovered on Design Space today. Now, I say hack, but it is a feature that is on Design Space, and for some reason I just didn't know it existed, and I stumbled across it yesterday when I was designing this, and oh my goodness, was it a game changer. So as you can see, I have so many score lines on this project, and what I would normally do to work out where my score lines needed to be is if I needed a score line at 2 centimeters, I would create a little box that was 2 centimeters, I would line it up to where it lined at the top, and then I would add a score line at the bottom to create the 2 centimeter line. Yes, laugh away at me because I know this sounds pathetic now, and as you can imagine, things just didn't turn out how they needed to turn out, and my projects wouldn't line up and I would get frustrated. So I'd stay away from doing things like this because it was so hard to design. So when I discovered this today, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, I need to jump on and I need to show you guys this cool little feature, because hopefully there's other people out there who didn't realize this, and it's going to make things a lot easier for them. So this is what I made. This is what this project is. It's a little sliding box. So as you can see, there's a lot of little moving parts, and it requires all of your lines to be so spot on. So my process that I did was not spot on, which means that this would not work. So I wanted to show you this. This is what we're going to work on today. So that little box represents this piece of paper. This piece of paper is going to be a little cube. This is what we're going to make. We've got the little line where we would add the glue, and then just 4 equal sides. So I've got all of our measurements there. We've got 2 centimeters, 6 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 14, and a piece of paper fins at 18. So our project is 18 centimeters long. So this little box here, I've already added it in there, 6 centimeters by 18 centimeters. Now, what we want to do before we add the score lines is I'm going to click on the box, and then I'm going to go up here to this little pencil. Now, as you can see here, it's got an X and a Y axis. X means the lines that go across horizontally. Y means the lines that come down vertically. If you look up here in this little corner, right there is you have 0. So this top line here and this line here represent 0. So I want my box to start up on 0. Now, it doesn't need to go completely onto the 0 for this one, just as long as we're on the top line. So I'm going to come over here to the Y axis, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to 0. Now, as you can see, that box jumped right up to the top there. So that box is now sitting on the 0, which means anything I add from this now is going to be perfectly lined up. So the first line I've got here is 2 centimeters. So I'm going to highlight my little score line here. I'm going to come over to the Y axis, and I'm going to change that to 2 centimeters. And as you can see, this line has jumped down to 2 centimeters. The next one we've got at 6, so I'll do that same process. 6 centimeters. I need a 10 centimeters. And then 14 centimeters. And then 18 is the end, so we don't need one there. But that's all my score lines there. Now I'm just going to select them all. I'm going to jump over here, and I'm going to align them horizontally. And that just puts them all together neatly. And then if I just move my little square across, that has now given me the exact lines where I need them on my project there. Now, because I've just moved my rectangle, what I want to do is just make sure that the rectangle itself is still sitting on 0. So if I click on the rectangle and I go over here, I can see that the number is not at 0. So let's just quickly change that back to 0. And now I know that all of my lines are the right marking from the 0 line. So what I want to do now is I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to jump down here to this very corner to attach, and I'm going to click attach. Now what attach does is it it does exactly what it says. It's going to attach all your lines to the box. So you can move that around now without moving your score lines and getting them mixed up. So now that everything is lined up and attached, when it prints out, it is going to print out to the exact measurements that you need, and everything will line up perfectly, so no more wonky projects. And that, my friends, is it. That is my hack that I learned today. I hope somebody else has learned something from this and it can help somebody else in their creative journey, because let's be honest, any hacks that makes doing this fun process easier is always going to be a win. So for me, that is it. Good night, happy crafting, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.